यन्मायावशवर्ति विश्वमखिलं ब्रह्मादिदेवासुरा यत्सत्त्वादमृषैव भाति सकलं विश्वमखिलम् यन्मायावशवर्ति विश्वमखिलं ब्रह्मादिदेवासुरा यत्सत्त्वादमृषैव भाति सकलं रज्जौ यथा हेर्भ्रमः यत्पादप्लवमेकमेव हि भवां बोधे स्थितिर्षावताम् वन्देऽहं तमशेषकारण परं रामाख्यमीशं हरिम्। श्रीराम जय जय राम ओम 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 जय जय राम ओम जय राम ओम। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय। Hari Om. Up you can come here a little bit in between. Good. We had seen the portion of Bhagwan's Vivaha, and after that, how this entire procession was going back to Ayodhya Nagari. One name we can give this is Ram Sita Vivaha, but another name of this entire prasanga is Janak Maharaj's Mahima. We started this prasanga by seeing Janak Maharaj saying, Sahaja Biraga Rupa Manamora, Thakita Hota Jimi Chanda Chakora. That when I see Bhagwan Rama and Lakshmanji, my mind is effortlessly going towards them. They have to be none but Bhagavan. And after everything concluded, all this wedding procession is now going back to Ayodhya. Then we saw again, our Janak Maharaj does Stuti of Bhagavan. So in Upanishads, we say this is Upakrama and Upasamhara. Means where you start and where you end. In that lies your main essence. Tatparya it is called. So Janak Maharaj, what he said in the beginning and what he said in the end. That shows that the main essence of this prasanga was his greatness, his glory. Until this part, 343rd Doha, until this part was everything that happens before Mithila and their journey until Ayodhya. Okay. So 343rd Doha onwards is what happens in Ayodhya now. Everybody has reached Ayodhya. They are also not less. You know, the prosperity there, the artisans in Ayodhya, they say we are also not less than our Janak Maharaj's Mithila Nagari and the artisans there. So they show different ways of expressing their love for Bhagavan. We'll chant after 343. Hane nisan panav bar bhaje bheri sankha dhuni haya gaya gaje jhanji birabadindimi suhaye सरसराग बाजहि सहनाये पुरजन आवत अकिनि बराता मुदित सकल पुलकावलि गाता निज निज सुंदर सदन सवारे हाट बाट चौहट पुर द्वारे, गली सकल अरग जासि चाई, जहाँ तहाँ चौके चारु पुराई, बना बजारु न जाई बखाना, तोरन के तुपता कबिताना, सफल पूग फल कदली रसाला, रोपे बकुल कदम्बत माला, लगे सुभगतरु परसत धरनी, मणिमय आल बाल कल करनी, विविध भांति मंगल कलश, गृह गृह रचे सवारी, सुर ब्रह्मादि सिहाहि सब, रघुपर पुरी निहारी, भूप भवनु तेहि अवसर सोहा, रचना देखि मदन मनु मोहा, मंगल सगुन मनोहर ताई, रिधि सिधि सुख संपदा सुहाई, जनु छाहु सब सहज सुहाए, तनु धरि धरि दशरथ गृह छाए, देखन हेतु राम बै देहि, कहु लाल साहो ही न केहि, जूथ जूथ मिल चली सुहासिनी, निज छवि निदरहि मदन बिलासिनी, सकल सुमंगल सजे आरती, गावहि जनु बहु बेश भारती, भूपति भवन कोलाहल होई, जाई न बरनि समउ सुख सोई, कौसल्यादि राम महतारी, प्रेम विबस तन दशा बिसारी, दिए दान विप्रन विपुल, पूज गणेश पुरारी, प्रमुदित परम दरिद्र जनु, पाई पदारथ चारि, सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय, उमापति महादेव की जय, बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय, श्री सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय। Now Goswami is describing what all things happened in Ayodhya to welcome Bhagwan Rama, Sita ji and all three brothers along with their consorts. They have not entered Ayodhya yet. Now preparations are happening in Ayodhya, and Kausalya ji and all other mothers, they have gone in front. They have gone ahead and they are getting everything ready. So different music instruments, drums, everything are getting played. Lot of joy is there in Ayodhya. And Goswami ji writes, Sarasa Raga Ba Jahi Sahanai. Sarasa Raga means appropriate raga. For different times of the day and for different occasions, there are specific ragas. So Shahanai was being played in those particular ragas. And all Ayodhya Vasis, they were very, very delighted. And their way of expressing joy is they decorated their houses, decorated the city, all the street, everything as though it was some celebration in their own house. This was that Sambandha. Just like Janak Maharaj had that Sambandha with Mithila Vasis, Dashrath Maharaj had his Sambandha with Ayodhya Vasis. All the streets, they were sprinkled with perfumes. Gali sakala aragaja sichai. Aragaja means perfume. All of that was sprinkled. Different decorations, toranam, natural decorations, all different banners, flags, everything they have decorated just to welcome Bhagwan Rama back to Ayodhya. Been such a long time since Bhagwan went with Vishwamitra Rishi, none of them, they have seen Bhagwan. Those who came to Mithila, of course, they saw. But those who are in Ayodhya, after such a long time, they're getting Bhagwan's darshan. Now, there was no time, right? That they said everything happened, and very quickly Bhagwan is coming back to Ayodhya now. So there is no time to, plant a seed, and that seed to become a tree, and then the tree to have fruits. So what they do is, they bring trees laden with fruits and then plant it. Goswami Chaupa, you see, Safala Puga Phala Kadali Rasala. Safala means along with fruit. Puga Phala means betel nut. That tree they bring. Kadali, plantain, Rasala, mango. All those trees, even those trees which were not local to Ayodhya, that is also brought. And they plant it in such a way that it looks like it was there from a long time. Rope Bakula Kadamba Tamala. Bakula flower, very small flower, like jasmine it is. It has fruits which look like berries. That is Bakula. I tried different ways of finding translations in Hindi, Kannada, Tamil, but I said better not to unless you confirm it. But Bakula flower is Bakula. And Kadamba. Kadamba is also another. You know Kadamba, right? Okay, good. And Tamala is the third one. All these trees which were there, along with the fruit, they brought and planted it. That joy to welcome Bhagwan back to Ayodhya. Lage subhagataru parasata dharani manimaya ala bala kala karani. These fruits were so ripe that the trees were as though touching the ground, laden with that fruit. I mean, that much of prosperity was there in terms of natural resources. And now they are getting ready, to welcome Bhagwan. All auspicious samagris they are gathering. Kalasham is there, all other plates, everything is getting ready. Goswamiji says there were some guests, in the palace of Dashrath Maharaj. But it was so beautiful, his palace, that even Kamadeva, his mind was also taken away looking at Dashrath Maharaj's palace. Bhupa bhavanatehi avasara soha rachana dheki madana mana moha. Madana means Kamadeva. He also felt deluded. Means his mind also was taken away looking at the celebration and the decoration in Dashrath Maharaj's palace. But now Dashrath Maharaj has 6 guests who want to come there in a human form and take darshan of Bhagwan Rama and Sita ji. Who are those 6 guests? First one is Mangala, means auspiciousness. Auspiciousness wants to come in a human form and take Bhagwan's darshan. Second guest is Saguna. Saguna means all auspicious omens. They want to come in a human form and take Bhagwan's darshan. Third one is beauty, Manoharatai. So beauty says, I want to come in a human form and take Bhagwan's darshan. Riddhi and Siddhi. Riddhi means prosperity. Siddhi means all different powers. They say, we also want to come and take Bhagwan's darshan. How many? 5. Last one is Sukha Sampada. All kinds of happiness that can come in a person's life, all of them say, we want to take a human form and get Bhagwan's darshan by being part of this celebration at Dashrath Maharaj's palace. Dekana hetu Rama baidehi kahahu lalasa hohi na kehi. Janu uchah sab sahaja suhaye tanu dhari dhari dasaratha gruha aaye. Everybody took a human form and came to Dashrath Maharaj's house. Goswami says, if Bhagwan has taken avatara, who will not want to come and get Bhagwan's darshan? All of them come. And then there are Suhasinis, the women of Ayodhya, who are so delighted. All of them gather in Dashrath Maharaj's palace and they are getting the Aarti plates ready for welcoming Bhagwan. And they're singing different songs. Goswamiji says, how did they look while they were singing? Sakala Sumangala Saje Arati Gavahi Janu Bahu Vesha Bharati. Bharati here means Saraswati ji. It looked as though Saraswati ji has taken different forms and she herself is singing through those Suhasinis. Meaning when our mind is on Bhagwan, it brings a very different purity. Right? All of them were citizens of Ayodhya Nagari, but because their mind is on Bhagwan, whatever they sang, it appeared as though Saraswati ji has taken a human form and she is singing through them. Now Goswami ji is describing the joy of the mothers. Kausalyadi Rama Mahatari Prema Bibasatana Dasa Bisari. I mean, they were so much overpowered by this joy, by this ananda, that they forgot their body identification. Prema Bibasa Tana Dasa. Tana Dasa means body identification. That they forgot, and they were just reveling in this ananda. And there is a Vedantic connotation to this. This chaupai, Prema Bibasatana Dasa Bisari. How many koshas are there in a jiva? We say 5 koshas. These are the layers that hide our own true nature. Our true nature is Ananda Swarupa Brahma. Now that Ananda is hidden by these different layers. More we identify with those layers, every layer gives lot of pain. First one is Annamaya Kosha. It undergoes modification. Even if you don't want, it gives physical pain. But more in terms of attachment to this Annamaya Kosha. Then comes our pranas. Energy goes up and down. Then comes our mind. Manomaya Kosha. All different emotions, everything is there. Identifying with that gives lot of pain. Fourth one is Vijnanamaya Kosha. Means all different opinions, the intellect. All can be used in the right way, but more often they become sources of our sorrow. Mahatmas say devotion to Bhagwan is such that one crosses over all these 4 koshas. Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya and Vijnanamaya. And where are they right now? They are reveling in Anandamaya. It is a kosha, no doubt. I am still a jiva, but I am a devotee of Bhagwan and no other sambandha is kept. So one who is reveling in Anandamaya kosha, one who is reveling in nature of Bhagwan, what is their state of mind? That Goswamiji describes over here. Moda Pramoda Bibasa Sabha Mata. If you have studied Tattva Bodha, there is a gradation of Ananda, right? Priya, Moda and Pramoda. Priya means when we anticipate something, that somebody whom we really love very dearly is coming to meet after a long time. That thought that this person is coming to meet gives joy. It is called as Priya. Moda means he has come to the doorstep, parking his car. You know that he is just here. It gives greater joy, Moda. Pramoda, when you really meet. So this gradation is there in Ananda. So all these 3 Anandas they experienced. Now this is just an example for a person whom we know. But the most exalted Ananda which is there, that mothers, Kausalya ji and everybody else, they experienced. Moda Pramoda Bibasa Sabha Mata Chalahina Charana Sitila Bhaya Gatha. And this joy was so overpowering that they could not walk, they could not move. That is this trupti, What makes us go here and there is this discontentment from within. If somebody can find it in their own self, in Bhagwan's nature, there is no desire to seek anything outside. That is the state of Kausalya ji and all others. Rama Darasahita Ati Anuragi Parichani Saju Sajana Sabha Lagi. What is Parichani? Parichani means Arti. All of them are getting ready now to do Arti of Bhagwan while he comes inside Ayodhya Nagari. Arati word, have we seen before any time? I don't think, right? In Ramayana, we have not covered what Arati means. Arati, it is formed with A plus Rati. Ram dhatu. Ram means to revel. A means to revel very well. So that by which we can revel in Bhagwan, that is this Arati. That by which we can revel in Ananda, in joy, that is this Arati. And you will notice the words also are such. We chant different Aratis, right? Om Jai Jagadisha Hare. What we are doing there is making ourselves small. Main sevaka, tuma swami. I am muraka, khalakami. Bhagwan is the one who is very pure, who is the one who is most powerful. You see, if we have to revel in Bhagwan, all that we need to do is make our ahankara small. That is this rati by which one can come to revel in Bhagwan. Another meaning of rati, arti, given in the same dictionary, Amara Kosha, is vairagya. Arati also means virati. Virati from sense objects and taking delight in Bhagwan's nature. So that is this Arati. Now all of them are getting ready for welcoming Bhagwan by doing this Arati. Now Goswamiji writes how are they arranging all the different things that they need for this Arati. Different plates are there, everything they are arranging. Bibida Bidhana Bajane Baje Mangala Mudita Sumitra Saje. Sumitra ji is gathering different plates and she is putting all these auspicious things which they need for doing the Arati of Bhagwan. Goswamiji elaborates what are the things that she is gathering. Harada means turmeric. Dudha, milk. Dadhi, yogurt, curd. Pallava means durva. Different plates, golden plates filled with these things. Phula, different flowers. Pana puga phala mangala mula. Pana means different leaves. Betel nut leaves are there. All these things are symbols of auspiciousness. They are gathering all of that to go and welcome Bhagavan. There is Akshata also. Achata Ankura. Ankura, they said it's some kind of grain. Some barley grain is there that they gathered. And some other auspicious cow products. Lochana Laja means different cow products are there that they gathered. Manjula Manjari Tulasi Biraja. Manjari means along with the stem. Not only the tulsi leaf, but that inside stem which is there, the entire thing was nicely decorated on different plates. And then the kalash which was there, it was golden kalash. Chuhe purata ghata sahaja suhaye madana sakuna janu needa banaye. It was so beautiful, it looked as though Kamadeva's birds, they have made a nest, in that kalasha. In that golden kalashas which were there, that is how everything was arranged. Now different auspicious fragrances are there. And then this Arati, is getting ready now. Kanaka thara bhari mangalahi, kamala karani liye mata, chali mudita, parichani karata, pulaka pallavita gata. So in all golden plates and golden kalashas, these auspicious things are laid out, and all the mothers, they take it to the outskirts of the city to welcome Bhagwan. Now, if you remember, when Bhagwan's Janma Prasanga was there, Goswamiji used so many metaphors to show how was the nature outside. He said, night wanted to come and meet Bhagwan, but she was feeling shy. Why? Because sun was there. But the people of Ayodhya, they threw so much of color in the sky that it became dusk time. So Mother Ratri, she also came, took Bhagwan's darshan and went away. Keeping a similar idea in mind, now Goswamiji describes how did that entire ambience look like with all these different arti plates. Just that portion, one doha he has written. How much of elaboration just for a simple prasanga, but very nice metaphors are there. We'll chant this one after 346. धूप धूमन भूमे चक भयऊ सावन घन घमंडु जन उठयऊ सुरतरु सुमन माल सुर बरसहि मनहु बलाक अबलि मनुहर सहि मंजुल मणिमय बंद निवारे मनहु पाकरि पुचाप सवारे प्रगटहि दुरहि अटन पर भामिनी चारु चपल जनु दम कहि दामिनी दुंदु बिधुनि घन गरजनि घोरा जाचक चातक दादुर मोरा सुर सुगंध सुचि बरसहि बारी सुखी सकल ससि पुर नर नारी समऊ जानि गुर आय सुदीन्हा पुर प्रभे सुर गुकुल मणि कीन्हा सुमिरि शंभुगिरि जागन राजा मुदित महीपति सहित समाजा ओहि सगुन बरसहि सुमन सुरदुंदुभि बजाई विबुध बधूना चहि मुदित मंजुल मंगल गाई सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय उमापति महादेव की जय बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय श्री सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय. They had different agarbattis, different incense sticks that they had taken along. Dhupa dhuma nabu mechaka bhayavu. Savana ghana ghamandu janu thayavu. The sky was filled with all this dhupa, all the incense and everything. And it looked as though monsoon clouds have gathered and they're going to shower now. Devatas are there, they are offering flowers. But they are not ordinary flowers. They are flowers plucked from Kalpavruksha. And not only loose flowers, they are making malas and showering. Surataru sumana mala sura barashahi. And it looks as though this flock of birds, how do they pronounce it? Heron? Heron. Heron, right? So flock of heron, when they fly, how this mind just goes away with them, how it gets attracted, right? Seeing those birds fly. Like that, these devatas were showering these flowers, and looking at that, everybody's mind was taken away. Different wall hangings were made from gems in Dashrath Maharaj's palace. It looked as though it was a rainbow over there. Manahu Pakaripu Chapa Samare. You know what is Pakaripu? Indra. Paka was a demon. The enemy of Paka is Indra. Pakaripu Chapa means Indra Dhanush, rainbow. So all the gems, they were giving so much of different colored lights that it looked like a beautiful rainbow. And then there were different women of Ayodhya who were just coming on the top of that palace in the terrace and then going back. They were coming and going back. How did that look? Charu chapala janu damakahi damini. It looked as, bright and shining as the lightning in the clouds. It would come and go. Like that, they must have, different jewelry and gems and everything. Like that, Dashrath Maharaj's palace looked. And then there were different drums, devatas, they showered their flowers again. And now Dashrath Maharaj asks his guru for the auspicious time to set the right foot in the city of Ayodhya. Samau jani gura ayasudina. Pura Prabesu Raghukula Mani Kinha. Now these are very, beautiful things to appreciate in Dashrath Maharaj and tradition wise. Such great Brahmajnanis, Bhagwan is there right with them. Bhagwan only has to set the foot, right, in Ayodhya. But they give so much of importance to all these things, traditions, practices. Jyotisha is a shastra. It's a science by itself. We should not just dismiss it as blind faith. Okay. Vasishtha Rishi, he asks and then sets the right foot in Ayodhya. Now all different auspicious omens, they start happening. And you'll notice, how do people welcome Bhagwan? It's always in three different ways. One is they will sing Bhagwan's glories. Second is there will be Jai Jaikara. Siyavara Ramachandra ki Jai. That Jai Jaikara also gives a lot of punya. And third is there will be a lot of Vedic chanting going on. These three things, when they combine, everything is auspicious. Celebration is also there. At the same time, auspiciousness is maintained. Now, all different citizens, all devatas who are there, they are so happy just looking at Bhagavan. Bane barati barani na jahi, maha mudita mana sukha na samahi. These are ordinary citizens of Ayodhya. You wonder, why is Goswamiji so many times mentioning this point? This is such a great result. Maha mudita mana sukha na samahi. That their mind is so filled with ananda that they could not hide it, they could not control it. In other places, Goswamiji writes, this is the power of devotion. It is not only seeing Bhagwan in one form, but seeing my same Bhagwan in everybody. And the immediate result of that is all differences are forgotten. When differences are forgotten, this is the result. Maha mudita mana sukha na samahi. Okay. Now all of them looking at Dashrath Maharaj and Bhagwan Rama, they bow down to Dashrath Maharaj. But their joy comes by looking at Bhagwan. You see that line? Puraba sinataba raya johare. This is third chaupai after 347. Puraba sinataba raya johare. They bow down in front of Dashrath Maharaj. Dekata rama hi bhaye sukhare. But their joy came just by looking at Bhagwan's form. And the expression of that joy is in Vairagya. That's why you see the second line. Karahi nichavari manigana chira. Whatever things they had, different ornaments, whatever wealth they had, a lot of it they started giving. Bari bilochana pulaka sarira. Tears of joy, feeling so content that we had Bhagwan's darshan. This point again you will notice, devotion to Bhagwan and Vairagya, they are always going together. And if somebody is content within, outer things, they feel like sharing. Now all different Sakhis are there, Suhaganis are there. The palanquin is still as it is. They have not yet gotten down. They come and do Aarti of Bhagwan and then try to remove that curtain and get a glimpse of Bhagwan and Sita ji inside. Sibika Subhaga Ohara Ughari Deki Dulanhi Deki Dulahin Nihi. How is that word? Dulahi Ninha. Mohi Sukhari. These Awadhi words are very different from our Sanskrit or even Hindi. Dulahi Ninha. Mohi Sukhari. Looking at them, they felt so much of joy, so much contentment inside. Now finally, mothers had gotten ready to do Aarti. Now they get a chance. Until this point, everybody came, all procession, everything was there. Goswamiji described how that entire ambience was. Now all of them come and start doing Aarati. This is after 348, we will chant. करहि आरती बारहि बारा, प्रेम प्रमोद कहे को पारा। भूषण मणिपट नाना जाति, करहि निछावरी अगणित भांति। बदुन समेत देखे सुत चारि, परमानंद मगन महतारी। पुनि पुनि सिय राम छवि देखे, मुदित सफल जग जीवन लेखे। सखी सिय मुख पुनि पुनि चाही, गान करहि निज सुकृत सराही। बरसहि सुमन छनहि छन देवा, नाचहि गावहि लावहि सेवा। देखि मनोहर चारिउ जोरी, शारद उपमा सकल ढोरी। देतन बनहि निपट लघु लागे, एकटक रही रूप अनुरागे। निगम नीति कुल रीति करी, अरग पावड़े देत। बदुन सहित सुत परिछि सब, चली लवाई निकेत। चारि सिंहासन सहज सुहाए, जनु मनोजन निज हाथ बनाए। तिन पर कुंवरी कुंवर बैठारे, सादर पाय पुनीत पखारे। धूप दीप नैवेद वेद विधि, पूजे बर दुलहिनी मंगल निधि। बारहि बार आरती करहि, व्यजन चारु चामर सिर ढरहि। वस्तु अनेक निछावरी होई, भरी प्रमोद मातु सब सोई। पावा परम तत्व जनु जोगे, अमृत लहिउ जनु संतत रोगे। जनमु रंक जनु पारस पावा, अंधहि लोचन लाभु सुहावा। मूक बदन जनु सारद छाही, मानहु समर सूर जय पाही। एहि सुख ते सत कोटि गुण, पावहि मातु अनंदु। भाई न सहित बियाहि घर, आए रघुकुल चंदु। लोक रीति जननी करही, बर दुलहिनि सकुचाही। मोदु बिनोदु बिलोकी बड़, राम मनहि मुसुकाई। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। उमापति महादेव की जय, बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय। श्री सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय। All mothers, they are so overpowered by love that they keep doing this arati over and over again. Karahi arati barahi bara. Same arati, they sing it again. Once they do it, twice they do it continuously. They are getting so much of joy because rati is happening in Bhagavan. Arati means that mind should dissolve in the Lord. After that, natural expression of devotion to Bhagavan is in giving. So whatever gems and jewels and so many other things, they start giving to people around. But Goswamiji says, how was their joy? Paramananda Magana Mahatari, not Vishayananda. It was Paramananda, the supreme most joy that great yogis, they experience. That kind of joy, Kausalya ji and all other mothers experienced. Mudita Suphala Jagat Jeevanu Leki. And they started feeling that their purpose of life is fulfilled today, that our mind has fully absorbed in Bhagavan, and that joy that we are getting with Bhagavan's form. Now with that, all Sakhis who are there, they want to come and see Sita ji. Where is Sita ji? I've heard so much about Sita ji. So they come. And then Goswamiji says, Saraswati ji, she tried to find an example for these 4 couples, and she tried very, very hard. But she just could not find any example for all 4 of them. That much was the uniqueness of the joy which was experienced by everybody. Now they are just on the outskirts. They are slowly brought inside and taken to the palace of Dashrath Maharaj. Nigama niti kula riti kari araga pavade det. How are they taken? By following Vedic traditions, by following their cultural traditions, and by giving arghya. Means at every step they offer water. By offering that, slowly all four of them are taken to the palace of Dashrath Maharaj. Now Bhagwan is made to sit on Singhasan. There is a beautiful throne which is kept over there. Four of them are there for all four brothers to sit. Now this portion is little different from what a traditional wedding would be. Over here, the mothers are doing Shodashopachara Puja of all four couples. This is keeping in mind that these are not only our sons, he is Lord of the universe who has taken avatar in our family. Goswamiji said that earlier, right? Bhagwan Rama is Turiya and all other avasthas. Along with their avastha abhimanis, they are these four couples. So keeping that in mind, Ishvara, Hiranyagarbha, and Virata. Three samashti avasthas and their substratum, which is Turiya. Keeping that in mind, all mothers do Shodashopachara Puja. So first one is Asanam. So Bhagwan is made to sit on that throne. Then Padyam. They remember that this is the same feet of Bhagwan from which Gangaji comes. So they wash Bhagwan's feet and all other brothers. Then they do different types of upacharas. Dhupa, Deepa, Naiveda, Veda, Vidhi. Dhupa, Deepa, Naivedya. All those things are done. Puje Bara, Dulahini, Mangalanidhi. With these upacharas, all of them are worshipped. Barahi bara arati karahi vyajana charu chamara sira dharahi. Different types of later upacharas which are there. Chhatra, chamara, vyajanaka. Mirror is also shown. That day we saw it, Panditji doing all these upacharas. They are done for Bhagavan. Now Goswamiji says, how was their joy again? This is a very important chaupai. Bastu aneka nichavari mohi bhari pramodo matu sabasohi. When all these things were offered, there was a great joy they experienced in their mind. How was it? Pava parama tattva janu jogi amrutu lahiu jana santata rogi. When that parama tattva is discovered by a yogi, when they revel in their own nature as Atma, the joy which they experience, the same joy all mothers experienced. Amrutu lahiu janu santata rogi. If somebody is sick, with some kind of affliction is there, physical body pain is there, and that person gets amrutam, becoming immortal, the kind of joy that he will have, that same joy they experienced. Now Goswamiji in Ramayana, later in Uttar Kanda, he mentions about Manasa Roga. Just like at physical body level, we say if Vata, Pitta, Kapha imbalance happens, there is Sharirika Roga. He maps different kinds of Manasa Roga with these attributes. He says what is Vata, what is Pitta, what is Kapha at the mind level. So there he says, devotion has that power that it can remove our Manasa Roga. What is at the root? Like every roga has something as a main, cause of that roga. He says, the root cause of all our Manasa Roga is moha. Delusion or having some kind of erroneous convictions. One of that is devoid of Bhagwan, somehow or the other will be happy. In Hanuman Chalisa we chant that, right? Nasai roga hare sabapira, japata nirantara hanumata bira. So Nasai roga, one roga is physical body level. That also Bhagwan's grace, it can cure us from that. But second roga is at mind level. In English also, what do we say for roga? Disease, right? And in disease, there is always something which is like a foreign body, right? It is not part of our inherent system. Something else has come and that is not keeping us at ease, right? That is what causes a dis-ease. So at mind level also, Bhagwan says our inherent nature is divine. But if some erroneous conviction comes, that erroneous conviction is sufficient to create this manasa roga. What did Bhagwan say in Bhagavad Gita? Sahayajna praja sushtva purovacha prajapati. Means the qualities like giving, quality of sacrificing for some higher cause, sacrificing for somebody else. All other virtues you take, compassion, whatever these qualities are, that is inherent quality in Bhagwan's creation. But if Jiva decides to go somewhere else and stray away from his inherent nature, that is where this Manasa Roga comes. Devotion is tuning back to our essential nature. Amruta laheu janu santata rogi. One Amrutam is that, right, which Indra has. But another Amrutam is in the form of this knowledge. Mooka badana janu sarada chai. Mooka badana, this reference is, it is said to one Mooka Kavi. Mooka Kavi, there was one great poet in Kanchi Kamakshi temple. He went and prayed to Divine Mother. And the grace of Divine Mother was such, he could not speak. That's why he was called as Mooka Kavi. He started speaking so eloquently and composed 500 verses on Divine Mother. The name is also there. This is called as Mooka Pancha Shati. Mooka Pancha Shati. 100 set of verses, 5 set of 100 verses. Each one has a name. First one is Arya Shatakam. Second is Padara Vinda Shatakam, Mandasmita Shatakam, Kataksha Shatakam, and Stuti Shatakam. 500 verses he has composed just by the grace of Divine Mother. Means such kind of grace, everybody in Ayodhya, they experienced. That is what Goswamiji wants to say over here. That so pure was the ambience there. Whoever was there felt such kind of grace of Bhagavan. And in that Mooka Pancha Shati, there is one verse where he says, how do you know that you have grace of the Lord on you? What is a litmus test to know that Bhagwan's grace is there on us? He says, if we can see people, see situations and objects with equanimity, that is Bhagwan's grace. What Bhagwan says in 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. But just that, same idea coming from a Mahatma opens up something more. He says, what is the litmus test of Bhagwan's grace? If we can be equanimous with people, situations, and objects. So such kind of grace, which can make a person who cannot speak to be very eloquent, that kind of grace everybody experienced. Manuhu samara surajaya pahi. Different warriors, they have become victorious in war. What kind of joy they will experience, that joy everybody experienced. Now this gradation, Goswamiji says, the mothers who are there, they experience joy million times more than what all these people they experienced. But just looking at the purity in everybody's heart, Bhagwan smiles in his mind. Mod binod bilo ki bada, Ram manahi musukahi. The symbolic meaning of this is Bhagwan is antaryami. Right? Purity of intention is known to the Lord, whether or not others know it. So that is this chaupai. Mod binod bilo ki bada, Ram manahi musukahi. Looking at everybody's purity in Ayodhya, all his mothers, everybody is there, ready to do this arati, already done this arati. Looking at that, Bhagwan smiles. If Bhagwan smiles, what else do we need? Right? If he is happy, he is pleased, rest everything comes through his grace. Now all devatas and ancestors, they are worshipped. All traditions are followed. Everything is done very meticulously. And now the mothers, having done that prayer to devatas and ancestors, they pray for Bhagwan's well-being, Sitaji's well-being, and all other sons, their well-being. Devatas come in unmanifest form, and they very secretly give their blessings. Why? Because Bhagwan is sitting there. They cannot give their blessings to Bhagwan. And so I see what Goswami has written. Antarahita sura asisha dehi mudita matu anchala bhari lehi. Mothers, they took it in their anchala. Anchala means, with their folded hands, they took it. In a very secret way, all these devatas, they came and gave their blessings. Now comes a very beautiful portion. Whoever had gone with Janak Maharaj, whoever had gone with Dashrath Maharaj from Ayodhya to Mithila Nagari, he calls each and everybody and gives them different gifts. Bhupati boli barati leen hai, jana basana mani bhushana deen hai. Whoever had gone in the procession, everybody he calls and gives them different gifts. But these people are also so pure. They are not just happy with the gift. They are happy because they got Bhagwan's darshan. And looking at Bhagwan, they are so pleased, and then they go back. Ayasu pai raki ura ramahi mudita gaye saba nija nija dhamahi. Looking at Bhagwan, they feel content, and with that, they go back to their homes. But Dashrath Maharaj is not done yet. He calls all other people who are there, all the servers, all the musicians who are playing the kettle drums and everything, calls all of them and rewards them. Sevaka sakala bhajaniya nana purana kiye dana sanamana. With lot of respect and reverence, gives them danam and then sends them away. This is the portion of showing that care. I had read a story once. There was a management institute where they were having some training program, and they had a test. One professor was there in that management institute. He said, tomorrow you have a test, all of you come prepared. There were 10 questions in the test. The 10th question of the test was, what is the name of the janitor who comes to your building? Now these students were there, they were management students, very sharp in thinking. They wrote until 9th question, 10th they wondered, I don't know why this professor has given. So one student asked on the way out, Professor, are you sure that the 10th question was part of the test? Or was it just, given on a side? He said, why not? Actually, that was the main question of the test. He said, tomorrow, all of you are going to be leaders. Right? You are going to lead some team. People will look up to you. Unless you care for those who are unnoticed, you will not care for those who are noticed. Unnoticed means people like this. who are in the background. All of them ensured that this marriage procession is, successfully completed. Everybody's contribution was there. So all of them Dasharath Maharaj notices, gives them the appropriate sanamana, not just giving something, but giving them with lot of respect. Okay. And then he goes back to his palace. Tabagura bhusara sahita gruha gavanu kinha naranatha. So now again in the palace, few more things are going to happen, but that we'll see in the next session. अगणित गुणगण भूषण रामा आश्रित वत्सल जय जय रामा अयोध्यवासी सीतारामा आपद बांधव जय जय रामा दशरथ नंदन श्री रामा दशमुख मर्दन जय जय रामा कौसल्या सुखवर्धन रामा कामित फलदाय जय जय रामा पाप विमोचन श्री रामा पट्टाभिरामा जय जय रामा जानकी वल्लभ सीता रामा जय रघुरामा जय सीता रामा वानर सेवित श्री रामा वारिधि बंधन जय जय रामा हनुमत पूजित सीता रामा श्री राम जय जय रामा रघुपति राघव राजा रामा पतित पावन सीता रामा श्री राम जय जय रामा श्री राम जय जय रामा सियावर रामचंद्र की जय। सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय। हरिओम।